Well, welcome to the special council meeting of December the 10th. We'll call the meeting to order at 1 p.m. You have the agenda in front of you, and it's been moved by Councillor Idris that the agenda be adopted. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. The first thing that we were going to do is we want to hear from Brandy Dirksen. So if Brandy can come up, and we'll have an Eco Committee presentation.
Is it on now? Okay, I apologize. So the first thing I just want to say thank you on behalf of the EcoBrooks Committee for an opportunity to present today. Yes, my name is Brandy Dirksen. I am the current chair of EcoBrooks, as well as the industry representative on EcoBrooks, as I work for the Eastern Irrigation District. So today I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of what EcoBrooks has accomplished in 2025, and then kind of looking to the future, kind of outline what we see as a vision for the future, whether that's continuing as an independent committee or continuing under the City of Brooks. So if you have any questions, please let me know, but we'll get started. So 2025 was a very busy year for EcoBrooks. We had a number of environmental initiatives and programs that we administered. So it's just some of the notable examples was the Community Benefit Grant Program. So we once again administered that program and was able to fund a total of $5,000 to 2 local organizations. We also collaborated with the Palliser Airshed Society to hire a local artist to design a building wrap for the Meadow Place Air Monitoring Station at the Quad Diamonds, which was just unveiled this past summer. We also once again held our Youth Environmental Art Contest reception at the library, I believe in February, and we had an Earth Day event at the library. We had our grand reopening of the Edible Garden in the spring at the south end of Lake Stafford. We also celebrated Pollinator Week, which is an initiative through Bee City Canada. City of Brooks is designated as a bee city, so that's something that we are required to promote and celebrate. And so we had a number of events and sales going on throughout the city. We also hosted our annual community cleanup once again in July. We brought the Birds of Prey to the FCC's Welcome and Wind Down event. Those are just a very brief overview of some of the events that we did participate in this year. There is obviously more, but just in the essence of time. And some of our most notable purchases for this past year was the purchase of a water bottle fill station for $5,000 that will be installed at the Duke of Sutherland Park in 2026, which we're really excited about. And we also purchased recycling attachments for our garbage receptacles that we have around the city. So those, once again, just a very brief overview of kind of what we've done in 2025. If there's any questions to those programs or initiatives, I can definitely ask them or answer them as best as I can, or I can continue on.
Councillor Falkenberg?
Through the chair, just curious, you said recycling attachments to, where are these receptacles and what does this look like? I haven't seen anything. Yeah,
so the 4 main ones, garbage receptacles that we have are on the corners of the JBS Canada Centre. They just have the EcoBrooks logo on them. And the recycling attachments will attach directly to the garbage can, and it's kind of like a recycling pouch, you could say, and it goes on the outside, and so it just encourages people to put it in there. And then if we have some people that need the money for the money that comes from the recyclables, they're able to take those cans as well. We've just been noticing a lot of recyclables have been dumped into the garbage can, so hopefully that's a way to help divert that waste a little bit.
Councillor Nesbitt?
Through the chair to Brandy. Hi, Brandy.
Hi.
Boy, that was fast. You said a lot of things. Can you give us a little bit more background on your edible garden? And is it something that is an annual type of thing where you have to plant, obviously you'd have to plant most of it, but are there perennials in that garden, and who has access to that garden, please?
For sure. So I am not an expert gardener by any means, so please don't quote me. But yeah, so we have a number of plots at the south end of Lake Stafford that we plant annually, usually in the spring. And the idea of them was to show people that they can grow food in their backyard. They don't need to live on a farm or have a great amount of space. They could do it in their apartments. Just to kind of help with food security and the cost of living. And so there's a number of vegetables and fruits. Some of them do come back, some of them do have to be replanted for sure. So, and then the idea is that city residents will help maintain and weed it, and then they can pick the produce at the end of the harvest season.
Go ahead.
Do you get quite a few people that come out and help maintain it and use it? Like, do you have any way of tracking who's taking the food from it and who's helping you in that project?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So at the beginning of the season when we planned, we actually invited BCIS and YMCA came out. And so we had a lot of volunteers at the beginning of the season to help us get it started. And then we did see more of the maintenance and the produce being harvested by not the committee members. So unfortunately, we don't really have a really good way of tracking it, but we noticed that it was definitely upheld better than previous years for sure.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Phillipson?
I love that community garden. Good job.
Thank you.
My question is about Eco Brooks and the members that you have and how often you meet.
For sure. So we meet every month. We meet the first Wednesday of every month. And we have, I believe it's 9 members. I believe our bylaw is for 10 or 11. So right now we have an industry rep, which is myself. We have a rep from Grassland School. We have a County of Newell resident. And we have some, they're members at large, but they have diverse backgrounds from owning businesses now and previously, and having educational background as well. And we also have another teacher as well that just sits as a member at large. But
Councillor Reuters?
Thank you. Thank you for the report, and thank you for what you do in the community. It's really appreciated.
thank you.
You mentioned in the beginning of your briefing that you want to talk about that continuing from now on as a separate committee or as a committee of the city. Can you tell us a little bit more about your partnership with the city first, and what did that do for you, and if you have to continue independently, how would that impact you?
For sure. So I would say having that formal structure with the city and having that bylaw structure definitely makes us more desirable when we're looking for partnerships with organizations or local businesses. People see that obviously the city of Brooks takes it seriously and that they should take it seriously as well, and they want to get involved. And it also helps have representatives from a more diverse background. It also maybe legislates them a little bit more to get involved, and obviously that if the city cares, that we should obviously care as well. So we have discussed what it would look like if we were to discontinue as a city committee and operate independently. We've thrown a couple ideas around. We've looked at becoming a registered society, which if you're familiar with registered societies, that is extensive administrative work that at this time our volunteers probably just don't have the time or capability to do so. Another thing that we looked at was becoming more of an informal club. So just moving to more of a community club, try to meet as much as we can, attract new members, and try and plan at least one major event throughout the year. A lot of the initiatives that we have currently would probably have to be dialed back if we did not have that partnership with the city. But having that partnership with the city also allows us to plan ahead and allows us to really expand on the current initiatives that we have now, and also look at major projects that are more of a multiple year project than just what's going on for that month or year. So there's definitely pros and cons to both sides, and I think the Eco Brooks Committee definitely understands the city side of it as well. We're definitely open to change, we're open to restructure. If there's a way to reduce budget or reduce support from city staff, we're absolutely willing to do that. We did operate at a $10,000 annual budget for a number of years before we had that increase to $20,000. So we're definitely open to change, and whatever, if there's more direction from council that they would like to see for the EcoBrooks Committee, we're also open to that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Johnson?
Hi, I loved your presentation. Thank you so much. Just two questions. One, is it fair to say that if you were not associated with the city, you would be, the opportunities for bigger grants would be available to you, is question one. And if you stayed with the city but got less administrative support from the city, do you have current membership that would be willing to take up that administrative requirements?
So to answer your first question, yes, there was probably more capabilities for us to go after larger grants. We have looked at a couple, but I know like in previous years, I will say the one thing with that too is if we do all the planning for it and then don't get that grant, it can really, it's kind of hinders our abilities a little bit, but yes, it's possible that we could go after bigger and larger grants, absolutely. And to answer your second question, I believe so, yes. I think we have dedicated volunteers right now. Serving as the chair, I do some admin work on the side for EcoBrooks as well. Definitely not as much as Jenny was doing, but I think that is something that the committee would be willing to take on, you know, doing our own agendas, our own minutes. The only thing I think we would ask if there was no support from or city staff support is just to have one liaison, just someone we could submit receipts to and have a budget report. But in terms of being completely administratively independent, I think we could do that for sure.
Go ahead.
So, thank you, I really appreciate that. I'm gonna throw this to council, or maybe to the chair, because I don't know. Can EcoBrooks run as an independent, but with a counselor on it, just to help provide support? Is that something that's possible? So that way they're entitled to the funding, they're doing their own administrative, but they still have support of the city in some fashion?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to council, in response to Brandy's answer, there is a way that we can have administrative support to an independent EcoBrooks committee. And when we're done dealing with budget, there can be funding in there for EcoBrooks, and that is what we're recommending, is that there be some funding in there for EcoBrooks. So basically answer yes. If a councillor wanted to volunteer and sit on the committee, they're more than welcome to. They would apply for membership with the EcoBrooks group, and they would review it and decide whether they want that particular council, which I'm sure they would. But we could still put administrative liaison to the committee. We are not capable of continuing to provide the level of administrative support that we're providing today with current resources. Thank you.
Councillor Regis?
Just a small follow-up on the idea of the grants in the society. You mentioned that you could become a society, but there is all of the administrative work that comes with that. How about the administrative work that you need to have to be able to apply to these grants and eligibilities and requirements and reporting and all of that? Are you able to do that if you?
It's something that's been thrown around. If the committee members right now, and if we were to grow in size, if we were to become an independent committee, if we wanted to do the events that we're doing right now, we don't have a choice. We're going to have to put the administrative work in. It's just we all have full-time jobs. It's definitely a job in itself, being a grant writer and applying for grants. I do that on a personal level, and so it is possible. Yes, at what capacity, I'm not 100% sure at this time. Mm-hmm.
Councillor Regner?
Appreciate what you do in the community. In terms of a follow-up for the grants, will your grant ability exceed half the funds that you're willing to do without, or all the funds? Like the 10,000 or 20,000, will grants exceed that?
There, some of them are, yes. I am not totally well versed with what grants are out there that would be relative to EcoBrooks, but I know that there is some grants that are well in excess of $20,000, and some are just smaller, $1 to $2 grand. But I know some of the larger grants, you're required more to a certain project. So the nice thing, the nice freedom that we have right now is that we're able to budget a year in advance or a couple months in advance for the year. We usually do our work plan in November and December, allocate what resources, what money we want to spend on certain initiatives, and then go from there. And so with having a larger grant, there might be a little bit more stringent requirements in terms of what we can use that money for. But we could definitely do more research and find out which grants are out there. Absolutely. I'm just not 100% sure at this time.
So in the past, the $20,000 that the city has committed to you every year for funding, what is your total budget? Like on top of the 20,000, what do you guys raise or get grants for? Like what's your total number?
So the total amount of funds that we have is completely based on what the city's allocates us. So we don't have any fundraising or apply for any grants. It's a little bit hard being a city committee. There isn't a lot of grants out there that allow you to apply because you are under municipal government. So we honestly haven't looked that hard. So this increase in 2025 was up from 10 grand. We usually had 10 grand from prior COVID to about 2024. And so that budget has worked well for us, and we would definitely be willing to go back down to that budget.
So the city has been your sole
Yes.
funding?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much, Brandy, for your presentation and answering the questions that have been put forward to you.
Thank you very much.
And have a good afternoon.
Thank you, you too.
Now, what we're going to do is move in camera held pursuant to Section 29 of the Access to Information Act. So we're going to move in camera for a short period of time. So staff can probably leave and go have donuts.
Did you bring donuts?